The Trains to the Past, Part 4, written and read for you by Emily Z. Prologue. Past Laura. Inside a dark, tiny, circular room with one window high up against the ceiling, deep under the earth, accessible only by a maze of winding staircases, a heart was thudding. Pounding was the better word. Laura stared at the glowing door, guarded by a series of lock mechanisms. Why did the people who made this door have to love technology and scientific stuff so much? She took a shuddering breath. I need to do this, even though I know how risky it is. I need to do this. For William, for the conductor, for Laura, future me. I can do this. I need to do this. Those words were echoing in Laura's head, bouncing back and forth, repeating. She knew she couldn't die from this. At least, no one else did. Yet. She was 9, younger than present Laura, who was 14. Way too young to save the world. The open door was pulling her toward it, calling her, welcoming her. The answer should have been obvious. When there's an open door that can take you where you need to go, normal people would go through without the slightest bit of hesitation. But on the other hand, she wasn't normal, and this wasn't a normal door either. Laura stared down at herself. Straight blonde hair of hints of brown and auburn down to her shoulders. Hazel eyes. Pale peachy skin. She'd memorized her features. She'd taken photos, drawn pictures, done everything she could to make sure she'd never forget who she was. But if something goes wrong, no matter how I prepare, I'm going to see a different girl in the mirror the next time I look. The more she thought about it, the scarier it sounded, letting her body get broken into millions of pieces and transported by wind, being projected into a different world. But I have to. I will. I'm doing this. She knew the process was painless, but she couldn't help thinking, I might never see myself again, as she jumped through the open door. The train to the past. I'm sorry? I asked, shocked, but mostly confused. Your twin? He sabotaged the train? William nods and stands up, resting his hand against the soggy bark of the tree. I'm going to check out the train. Look for clues. I start to stand up after him, but he adds, alone. Something about him doesn't seem right. I've seen him cry before, but I could have mistaken it. After all, we'd been in the middle of a rainstorm. But this time his voice sounds higher, strained. I can see the way his shoulders stiffen, and how he keeps his back to everyone, not meeting their eyes. He'd said everything in a rush, as if to use his voice as little as possible. I start to stand up again, but Laura, the other one, grabbed my wrist, shaking her head. I stare down the hill at the wreck the train has become, at the shattered pieces of glass littering the grass at the bottom of the hill, at the splinters of jagged, scorched, uneven wood across the ground, at the velvety cushions ripped and torn, scattered around the train tracks. Everything I've ever seen, everything, has been destroyed. A question hits me, and I open my mouth to ask it. Why? Laura shrugs. Jealousy, I guess? Now that I can understand. I've been jealous of my younger brother, Max, many times. But William's twin blowing up the train would be equivalent to me blowing up our house. I've never even once thought about doing that. I kick a pebble across the slightly damp grass and stare at the blue sky. There's no sun in sight. I see William walking up the hill, and he's holding something. It's a necklace. At least I think it is, because there's a silver chain dangling out of his fist. He must be carrying the charm in his hand. Can I see it? I ask. I feel a nervous sense of excitement, like when you know the possibility of something is 90% going to happen, but you're not sure yet. William tosses the necklace to me, and I stretch out my hand to catch it. Not the friendliest okay, but I take it as a yes. I stare at the pendant. It's a rose. Exactly like mine and William's. Except this time it's black as the night sky and slightly charred. I hold it up to the sunlight in order to get a better look, but instead of bouncing and reflecting off the surface of the pendant like I had expected the light to do, it seems to be absorbed into the rose. William! I call, frowning when he ignores me, and continues staring at the base of the hill, where the remaining parts of the train cover the ground. This is important, I try. Still no answer. William! The conductor barks, and finally he turns and looks at me. What? He asks. He doesn't look interested. He looks like this is a conversation he's trying to put up with until it's over. After many explanations and even more demonstrations, William finally starts to look interested. "With this reprogrammed necklace, we can make anything happen," he whispers. "I just don't know how." "Your twin," I say, an idea forming in my mind. "He was the same as you before, right?" I wait until William nods. "And he only figured out how to reprogram the necklace after he changed, right?" The conductor, William, and Laura's eyes widen in shock. It's pretty hilarious, actually. They look like fish with bulging eyes. "He's not going to let himself be broken!" Laura and the conductor yell at the same time. No, that wasn't what I was thinking. Okay, it was, but now that I think about it, I trail off. What was I saying? I can't let my friend be broken. Everyone who went on the train to the past, do they all have a pendant? Yes, William replies hesitantly. You know, I'm kind of getting afraid of your ideas. And the pendants are all made of the same material, I continue, ignoring him. Yes, he says more hesitantly. So the pendants have a material that allows them to travel through time on the trains of the past. And I think younger William, younger you, once told me that the train exists because of that material. Laura nods. But it would be too dangerous and practically impossible to harvest any more, she points out. I wasn't thinking we'd harvest more, I tell her, the new idea growing bigger. I was thinking they give us their pendants and we use them to create a new train. We already have that time-traveling piece of the train. Have you thought through what that means? William asks. Great. Leave it to Mr. I know things that you don't to ruin my other plan. If we take their pendants, they won't have any more. Therefore, they can't travel on the trains of the past, which means we can't take them to their timelines, which means the future versions of you. He pauses to look at me. Won't have a past. In the past you won't have a future, the conductor adds very helpfully. For a second, I'm completely stunned. Okay, I definitely didn't think this plan through. Okay, then we need to take cover, William yells. Two explosions rock the ground. Trees are ripped from their roots. Grass blasts everywhere. Dust and flying pebbles surround us in the swirling volcano. A massive dust cloud blurs my vision. Hacking and coughing, I pull myself to my feet to inspect the damage. Wow. It looks like one of those natural disasters newspaper headlines are always talking about. It looks like Mother Nature pulled out the earthquakes and tornadoes and landslides and all the terrible weather in the world into this place. This, William wheezes, is the same kind of explosion as the one that destroyed the train. I see it glowing black on the grass, shining against the unfittingly bright sky, and bend over, examining it. William crouches down next to me and carefully picks up the object, positioning his fingers like a pair of tweezers. It's a black rose pendant, I exclaim, fishing out the one we've previously found and holding them both up to the light. Why are you excited? Laura asks. Aren't these things bad? Yeah, I admit. But think of it this way. We've got more of these, and since they've all proved to serve the same purpose, a very bad one, they must be built the same way. And, the conductor agrees, catching on, this way. William won't have to lose part of himself. We can experiment, have trial and error. It's the first time since the destruction of the train that I've seen William look hopeful. And it's so nice to see a smile finally light up his face. A true, sincere smile, not a smile to convince everyone he's fine. One more thing, Laura, I add, turning to her. Uh-oh, she says. Yeah, what? Happy to help. That's me. I can sort of understand her faked excitedness. It's not like all my plans have gone very successfully. I need you to take me to that time visiting door thing that you used. I'm thinking that if William can make something to project my voice through all the different timelines, maybe I can just stick my head in or something and send a message to all the different versions of me, telling them to send us their rose pendants. If you get on that path, Laura tells me, it's the shortest way. Take 2 rights, 4 lefts, 6 rights, 2 lefts, 4 rights, 6 lefts, 8 rights, you get it. You make it sound like I'm supposed to be going in circles, I point out, trying to picture the journey in my mind. She's right, William says, drawing out Laura's instructions in the dirt with a stick. It looks like squares overlapping each other. Each turn brings you down a level, Laura assures me. It's a really long walk to the door. Apparently, that was one of the things Laura forgot to mention. William has been muttering ways to make the black pendant into a microphone-like device the whole way. So far, one pendant has sizzled, then turned to black ash, and one of the others has fallen apart completely. We've searched the area near the train and found 5 pendants total. This means we have 2 more to experiment with, and 1 more to make the final product. There! I shout, forcing as much enthusiasm out of my mouth as possible. Done! William yells at the same time, holding up a strange-looking contraption. Okay, I say, hiding the way my voice shakes. Ready. When this thing gets attached to your head, William warns, the countdown will start. I built it so you could have 5 minutes to project your message. Then I realized it takes at least a total of 3 minutes to unlatch the door and do all that special stuff to get it ready, so you have 2 minutes to broadcast your message to the world of you. This is one of those times when your body is physically ready, but your brain is screaming out the ways you could die. The device clips easily onto my face. It looks like giant headphones combined with a microphone and a speaker. It makes me look so nerdy. Okay, I say again. Okay, William echoes. The rest of you, stand back. He twists and turns a series of locks and latches and knobs, mumbling numbers under his breath. The door bursts open, and I gasp at the amazing sight. It's like when you're at the top of the biggest Ferris wheel ever, and you feel like you can see the entire world. This is better. It's like my entire life is spread out in front of me. The people are so small they look like ants. The timelines and futures and memories are scattered across a giant patch of land. Every version of me living their life at the same time. It's a flurry of color and excitement, everything happening at once. I'm tempted to dive in until a strong hand grips my wrist, pulling me back. Remember what we're here for, William whispers. Right. I'm not good at speeches, much less the dramatic, inspiring ones. I haven't had much time to come up with a script or cue cards. I wish I had a part of William's genius brain, or Laura's brave and adventurous one, or even the conductor's, experienced and bluntly honest. Oh, honest. I clear my throat. Hi, me, I guess. All the tiny heads seem to snap up and look in my general direction. This is you from, 14 years old, I continue, and we need your help. Due to an unfortunate accident, we, need your rose pendants. They should be blue and attached to a necklace. If you can, get them to us ASAP, that would be great. Please leave them... I pause. You're doing great, William whispers. Please leave them at the bottom of this hill, where the train to the past was destroyed. Many of you know what this means. You won't be able to travel through your timelines anymore. We'll try to get you new pendants right away. I hear 10 loud beeping sounds ringing in my ear. 10 seconds left. And stay away from any rose pendants turned black. Thank you, I yell in a rush. I lean forward a little, taking one last look at the magical world below me. Laura! I hear William's voice yell from somewhere far, far away. But if he's so far away, why can I still feel his grip on my wrist? I start to feel a tingling, then a numbness, like when your foot falls asleep, starting from my extended arm and working its way toward the rest of my body. Several pairs of hands pull me back, and I fall back onto the stone floor as the door slams shut. The world of me gone. What were you thinking? 3 voices yell in unison. The conductor sounds shocked. Laura sounds scared, and William sounds... I don't know, I find myself repeating. It's like the door was pulling me into it. Then everything disappeared. It was just me and the timelines of my life. Then I felt sort of a tingling, and then you guys pulled me back. Laura shudders, and I look at her with concern. What? I ask. Nothing, she replies. It's just, that's how it feels when you're about to lose part of yourself to the timelines. And change permanently. In fact, it's a miracle you didn't. I've never known anyone who hasn't changed from this, William says, eyes wide. I'm fine, so let's go, I interrupt, not wanting to be lectured any longer. How do we get back? William's shoulders droop. We walk. And so we do. The sun is starting to set when we finally see a house. It's my house. What? I didn't realize we were that close to your house, William comments, studying the white 2-story house. We weren't that close, I grumble and reach out to knock on the door. My hand freezes as I prepare to knock. If my family isn't home yet, they won't answer the door. But if they are, then they will answer it, and then I'm going to be in for a lot of awkward explanations about the group of people behind me. The window, William hisses, pointing up. Let's hope it's Laura's room. Do all of you know how to climb trees? We all nod, then turn to stare at his grandfather. No offense, Grandpa, but... William trails off as the conductor marches off toward the front door. William shrugs. All right, then. Laura, you go first. The other Laura and I both step forward and William blushes. I mean, the older Laura. Sorry. Wish me luck, I say, raising a foot to stand on the first branch of the tree outside my room. Climbing is hard. Max is the kind of tree-climbing, science-loving, adventurous person, not me. When I look down, I gulp and reach for the last branch with a trembling arm. I lean forward with one hand gripping onto a branch and try to pry off the window screen. Suddenly, the branch I'm holding onto cracks, and I scream as I fall through the open window. Epilogue. Ow! William groaned as something landed on him. Get off! Sorry, Laura, the younger version, said as she hopped off his chest. At least he was laying on something soft. A bed? He mentally thanked Laura for putting her bed against the window. Staring around the room, he was surprised. William had expected the girls' room to be pink and fluffy, but Laura's room looked like a normal room. The walls were white, and the wall above her bed was decorated with blue star stickers, forming a mini galaxy. A white desk was pushed against a corner, and a gray desk chair sat in front of it. Rows of creamy white shelves nailed to the wall supported all of Laura's books, and a wooden dresser was next to the bed, acting as a bedside table. Nothing pink? No diaries or stuffed animals either, William thought as he sat back down on the bed. Laura! A very young, very excited voice shouted. Mom and Dad are home! Oh no! Laura gasped. All of you? Hide! She shoved younger Laura into her closet and frantically searched for a hiding place for William and the conductor. You have a lot more clothes than I do, younger Laura stated. Laura, we're home, a woman's voice called from downstairs. Hi, Laura, the boy, Max, yelled. Footsteps started up the stairs, and moments later, the door to Laura's bedroom swung open. Laura's mother had shoulder-length light brown hair with a few hints of darker brown, amber, and gold. Her eyes mirrored Laura's. Laura's father had blonde hair cut similarly to William's own hair. His eyes were deep brown and kind. Max, Laura's brother, looked like a younger version of his dad, except he had his mother's hair color. William guessed that he was about 8 or 9 years old. Laura? Her dad started, taking a step closer to the older Laura, who was currently very busy studying the hem of her shirt. Why did you bring strangers into our house? And where did you even meet them? Her mom put in. They're not from our neighborhood. Yeah, Laura, don't you know stranger danger? Max asked, though it sounded more like a shout than a question. Then, at the perfect moment, Laura's closet door creaked open, and younger Laura tumbled out. Laura said, stalling for an excuse. The conductor stepped forward and shook her parents' hands. Yes, nice to meet you two. Now, Laura needs to come with us for a few seconds. Here, boy, catch. He tossed a purple ball-like thing at Max, and he caught it in surprise. What is it? He asked, squinting down on it. The moment his nose brushed the surface, Max swayed on his feet and collapsed in a heap on the soft carpet. He used it. He actually used it. My invention was useful. My invention. The boy's body was rising and falling with steady, calm breaths. His parents were only a step behind, falling asleep as soon as they picked up the oddly shaped ball. The conductor sighed heavily. I was hoping I never have to use that, he exclaimed. Will and Jack created it a while ago, before, it'll make your family fall asleep for about an hour, and when they wake up they won't remember this moment. Laura stared at William's grandfather in outrage, her eyes huge. William couldn't argue. Sometimes Jack's ideas scared him. Sometimes he scared himself. William shivered. If Jack had helped design something like this, to take away memories, or make a giant explosive hidden in a tiny necklace, what else was he capable of? He had a very bad feeling they would have to find out the hard way. And soon. The end. Thank you for listening. I hope you have enjoyed The Trains to the Past, Part 4. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with family and friends. Part 5 coming soon.